Ronaldinho, the player who made football beautiful again. Before tactics dominated football, before defensive systems controlled the game, before players played safe, there was one man who smiled while the world watched in disbelief, a player who turned stadiums into playgrounds and defenders into spectators. This is the story of Ronaldinho, the player who reminded the world that football could be pure joy again. Football is a game of numbers, wins, losses, goals, assists. Stats tell the story of results, but not of emotion. For decades, the modern game became obsessed with efficiency. Players were drilled to avoid mistakes. Creativity was secondary. Flair was discouraged. And then came Ronaldinho, a Brazilian magician who challenged every rule, every expectation, and every rigid system. He didn't just play football. He taught the world how to play with joy again. The early years. From futsal courts to global stage, Ronaldinho's genius began not on grand stadiums, but on the streets and futsal courts of Porto Alegre. Futsal, the small-sided indoor version of football, forces players to develop rapid decision-making, tight ball control, and improvisation. As a boy, Ronaldinho learned to manipulate space in ways adults couldn't anticipate. Dribbling, feints, no-look passes, all came from playing in chaotic environments where improvisation wasn't just fun, it was survival. He wasn't a prodigy in the traditional sense. He was a student of the game, studying patterns before acting. That mindset, learning by doing, observing, and experimenting, would define his career. The smile that became his trademark. Perhaps the most iconic image of Ronaldinho wasn't his footwork. It was his smile. Even in the middle of pressure, he laughed. While defenders tried to intimidate him, he disarmed them with pure joy. When other stars were tense, calculating, or serious, Ronaldinho made football look effortless. That smile wasn't just for the fans. It was a psychological weapon. It signaled confidence, freedom, and unpredictability. When your opponent sees you enjoying the game more than they do, half the battle is already won. Arrival at Barcelona, reviving a fallen giant. When Ronaldinho arrived at FC Barcelona in 2003, the club was in crisis. No league titles, management chaos, a squad full of underperforming stars. The spirit of the club had diminished. Barcelona didn't just need talent. They needed inspiration. Ronaldinho didn't come with a plan. He came with charisma and skill. His impact was immediate. Players trained harder, fans believed again, and defenders feared more. Barcelona wasn't just winning, it was enjoying winning. The art behind the magic. Many call Ronaldinho flamboyant or showy. But his genius wasn't for entertainment. It was highly functional. Every elastico, step-over, and no-look pass served a purpose. Distract the defender, open passing lanes, create space for teammates, maintain possession. He could dribble through multiple opponents in tight spaces, not because he wanted to show off, but because he saw patterns in defense before anyone else did. The iconic El Clásico at the Bernabeu. One of Ronaldinho's most legendary moments came during an El Clásico in 2005. Playing at Santiago Bernabeu, Barcelona's arch-rivals were expected to dominate. Instead, Ronaldinho scored 2 goals, dribbled through defenders effortlessly, and the impossible happened. The Bernabeu crowd rose to applaud him. This wasn't about Barcelona winning. It was about football transcending rivalry. When your opponents cheer your brilliance, you have reached the level of football artistry. Skills beyond the eyes defenders often underestimated Ronaldinho. They thought his tricks were random. They were not. He studied opponents' body language, anticipating weight shifts, steps, and reactions. He wasn't just creative, he was strategically creative. A nutmeg wasn't just for flair. It was calculated to destabilize a defender. A sudden feint wasn't a gamble. It was a read of the situation, executed with perfection. Ronaldinho combined technical brilliance with football intelligence, a combination that few players have achieved. Influencing a generation, Ronaldinho's impact went beyond trophies and individual accolades. He inspired a generation of players to play with freedom. Lionel Messi, Andrés Iniesta, and many of Barcelona's youth products were influenced by watching Ronaldinho. His approach to football encouraged them to take risks, innovate, and believe in their instincts. In this sense, Ronaldinho didn't just change matches, he shaped the future of football. Ballon d'Or and global recognition. Winning the Ballon d'Or in 2005 was more than recognition for goals or victories. It was a statement. Football artistry mattered. During an era dominated by tactical rigidity and efficiency, the award honored joy, creativity, and intelligence on the ball. For fans, it reaffirmed what they had always known. Football was not just a sport, it was art. Beyond Barcelona, the world stage, Ronaldinho's influence extended far beyond Spain. With Brazil, he won the 2002 FIFA World Cup, dazzling the world with free kicks that bent physics, dribbles that defied logic, passes that felt impossible. He reminded the global audience that football was meant to entertain as much as it was meant to win. The lifestyle that defined his career. Ronaldinho's love for freedom wasn't confined to the pitch. He lived life fully, embracing joy off the field as well. While some criticized his lifestyle, it reflected his philosophy. Football is a game, not a burden. He played with a childlike passion that few could replicate. That same energy translated to performances that fans would never forget. Why he burned bright and fast. Some argue Ronaldinho's career declined prematurely. It's true, his peak was relatively brief compared to other legends. But brilliance is often fleeting. Some players are meant to dominate decades. Others, like Ronaldinho, are meant to ignite eras. He left a lasting legacy, not by longevity, but by impact and inspiration. Teaching football the human way. Ronaldinho reminded the world that football is human. It's emotion, it's intuition, it's joy. In an era obsessed with analytics, metrics, and tactics, Ronaldinho showed that spontaneity and creativity still matter. The psychological edge. One reason defenders feared Ronaldinho, he attacked not only their bodies but their minds. With a feint, a smile, or a sudden flick, he made defenders doubt themselves. Once doubt enters a defender's mind, control is lost. That's why Ronaldinho was not only a magician with the ball, he was a master of the mental game. Why modern football needs Ronaldinho's influence. Today's football is faster, more physical, and more tactical. But the essence Ronaldinho brought is more valuable than ever. Intelligent, creative players who can break defensive lines, play under pressure, inspire teammates, are rare. Modern football often forgets beauty in pursuit of efficiency. Ronaldinho's legacy reminds coaches, players, and fans that art and effectiveness can coexist. Lessons. From Ronaldinho for every player. Joy over fear. Play with freedom, even when the stakes are high. Creativity with purpose. Every skill move should solve a problem. Confidence through simplicity. Master the fundamentals, then innovate. Influence beyond stats. Inspire teammates and fans through presence, not just performance. These lessons transcend generations and ensure that Ronaldinho's impact will last forever. The magic lives on. Even after leaving Europe, even after retirement, Ronaldinho's spirit continues to influence football. Young players emulate his tricks. Coaches study his movement in video analysis. Fans cherish the joy he brought. He didn't just play football, he made it beautiful again. Football, smiles, and the art of play. Ronaldinho reminds us that football is more than a game. It is a celebration of human expression. He didn't need trophies to define greatness, though he won plenty. He didn't need discipline to win hearts, though he inspired millions. He played the way football was meant to be played, with skill, with intelligence, with joy, with a smile. Ronaldinho wasn't just a player, he was a revolution. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. It really helps support the channel. And if you have ideas for future videos or legendary stories you want to see next, drop them in the comments below. I read every single one.